And we are fired up to take you out to the ball game. It is the Giants and the Cubs coming up an hour from now. It's ESPN Sunday Night Countdown. San Francisco right now, just a couple games back of first place in the NL West. The Cubs, well, those fans are always fired up for a little bit of baseball. The games inside and the games outside. Evan Longoria and the Giants offense averaging 4.6 runs per game, fourth most in the NL this month. And part of that is having a good time. Look at Kung Fu Panda. He can get it on the dancing action as well with Giants fans who can travel well on the road. As for Anthony Rizzo, after a slow start, he's put together an 8-game hit streak. As the big Cubs first baseman is looking good, as is Chris Bryant. You see his numbers in the month of May. Cubs averaging 5.2 runs per game in May, most by any NL team this month. It is baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, presented by Chevrolet. Once again, the game's coming up an hour from now, but first off, leading off here on Baseball Tonight with Tim Kirch and Eddie Perez, I'm Adnan Burke. Jose Altuve, Eduardo, he's going to hit 10 straight at-bats.
Well, this is one thing Jose does well. Watch where all these balls go. Up the middle, doing a nice job, and when you raise it, he'll pull it, but this guy stays through the zone often.
However, that wasn't the prominent story of that game. We'll get that in a sec. Tim, Bryce Harper, 16 home runs.
Right, and it looks like he was checking to see if that was fair or foul. It was clearly fair. He just wanted to see how far it went.
You're right about that. And Ronald Acuna, this is not a good sight. The Atlanta Braves fans left the game with that knee injury in the seventh as he goes down. Brian Snitker, the Braves manager, offering this after the game.
I haven't really got any reports other than he's real sore. He's being looked at, so we'll know more. I just like the fact that he walked off. Because when he did it, I thought, you know, Bryce Harper did last year. Looked real similar. So we'll know more later.
All right, we'll get to all the highlights of the day in just a second. Once again, Tim Kirch and Eduardo Perez, I'm Adnan Burke. Great to have you with us here on Baseball Tonight. Ozzie Albies, Eddie, has been the superstar for the Braves, but listen, Ronald Acuna is a big part of it as well. How damaging would this be if he's out for an extended period of time?
A huge blow for the Atlanta Braves. You look at the energy that he brings, as young as he is. Ozzie Albies said it best. When he got called up and it was against the Reds, he said, well, now I have my brother with me. And these two kids have been fantastic. The energy has been up. And we've seen a rejuvenation also with Nick Markakis and the rest of the guys because they're following the lead of these two youngsters.
I thought he was going to be out for a long time, and let's hope that he's not. But you're right. The fact that he walked off under his own power is a good sign, but we'll have to wait. It looked like there's a hyperextension there. It's a little tricky. Oh, I can't believe we're going to show this again.
And watch Eric Young, first base coach, and he knew immediately. He's calling for the training staff. Look at that left leg. Oh man. That's a tough one, but Brian Snitker hit it right on the nose. He walked off. That has to be a good sign. Now let's see what the MRIs show.
Yeah, fingers crossed, the Braves, who have been a very good story in the NL East. All right, the game of the day, and we showed you the Altuve hit streak continuing, but honestly, this game was ridiculous. Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer going head-to-head. An excellent pitcher's duel on tap. Bottom of the first, Cole facing Jose Ramirez, 2-run home run, his 15th.
And these are UCLA teammates, and they don't like each other very much. And we thought this would be a great pitching duel. As it turned out, it didn't turn out that way.
How great is it? A Friday night starter, a Saturday night starter, they're facing on a Sunday.
Top of the sixth, Altuve 3-0, going to right center, goes off the wall. George Springer will score all the way from first. Altuve with an RBI triple.
You don't do that. You don't hit a 3-0 pitch the other way unless you're Jose Altuve. But the hidden secret is the way they run the bases. This is why they're so successful. You saw Jose Altuve right there. Look at the lead runner, and he keeps on chugging.
Now, one-run game. Bauer strikes out Correa and then Gurriel.
13 strikeouts for Bauer today through 127 pitches. They got the most out of him. With that struggles in that bullpen, they're going to need more out of their rotation.
Yeah, more in the bullpen and sack. Top fifth, Bauer's lifted. That's 127 pitches. Tito stretched him as long as he could. Responsible for the runners on first and second. Altuve's facing Evan Marshall. And then the base hit pass to diving Francisco Lindor. Springer comes in to score. Altuve, 10 straight hits.
Major League record is 12 in a row by Walt Dropo. He didn't get there, but 10 straight. Pretty impressive.
Correa then base hit. Bregman scores. Astros up 4-3.
Keep the line moving. It's one thing Tony La Russa always said when he was my manager in St. Louis. Keep the line moving because home runs kill the rally.
And then Gurriel base at the middle. 5-3 Houston.
And this is where the Indians are really in trouble, is their bullpen ERA over 6 this year, worse in the American League. And they had the best bullpen ERA the last 2 years combined. And here, Evan Gattis adds to that bullpen ERA.
Facing Ben Taylor, 3-run home run. Astros up 8-3. The Indians bullpen implodes. Eddie, figure this out. As Tim said, first to worst, 6-1-7.
Yeah, it's not good, but Brian Shaw's not there. And last year, and we've talked to Tito Francona about this, there was a way that you can get in Miller, Shaw, if it's Miller sometimes in the 6th, Shaw in the 7th or 8th, or invert them one way or another. You don't have that luxury anymore.
And so, the game is not over, because bottom of the ninth, 8-3 Astros, Ken Giles trying to end the game. Speaking of bullpen issues, that's Yonder Alonso base hit 8-4. Giles was lifted after giving up 3 straight hits.
And this first batter of that inning was Jose Ramirez, 17 pitch at bat. Giles only lasted 3 because Ramirez wore him out.
Who's the closer for the Houston Astros?
Supposed to be
him.
Then why is he in the game on a non-closing situation? We see these numbers all the time. They're skewed. The guys are just not that focused when it's a non-closing situation.
They figure they give him a little bit of work. Instead, there's the work. As Gonzalez on the base to the left, Alonso scores. It's now 8-6 as Will Harris gets lifted. In comes Hector Rondon.
Look at the counts. That was a 1-2 count, hanging curveball. That gets hit. This is another 1-2 count right here. And look where this pitch is. Down and away. Brantley, he's so good.
Francisco Lindor, that base hit. Now it's a 1-run game as Jason Kipnis scores. And then it is Michael Brantley off the glove of Alex Bregman. I tell you, this Indians lot, they kept the chain rolling.
That was the count right there. 0-2. I said Lindor, I said Brantley earlier. This one right here. Pitch away again, down and away, going the other way. Look, the common denominator for both teams was that they weren't trying to pull everything. Everything was to the big side of the ballpark.
Top of the 13th, Dan Otero facing Evan Gattis. Dad! Second home run of the game! Dad! Astros take a 9-8 lead. To the bottom of the 13th we go. It's Colin McHugh looking to close it out facing Yonder Alonso. Eddie, you called this!
Pitch up in the zone. Look what happened. Listen, we've seen the bullpen give it up. In the 8th, 9th inning, and then in extra innings, everything was up, and boy, was that hit.
Bottom of the 14th.
Last Indian to tie a score with an extra inning homer was Manny Ramirez in 1994.
Wow.
That's what Alonso did there.
And then Greg Allen, I'm walking here. His first career walk-off hit, his second career home run.
And first homer of the year, and it's 10-9 and 14. This is the best pitching team in baseball, and they gave up 10. Their bullpen didn't help.
Near 5-hour game. Astros' first loss when leading by 5 or more runs in the 9th inning or later since July of 2001. I love when Tim Kirchin calls it a circle game. This is a circle game.
This is a circle game for the Indians. So many things went wrong, and with a beleaguered bullpen, they came back and won this game. And you circle it the other way when it leads to something really bad. I don't think it's going to the Astros. They're too good. But to lose an 8-3 lead in the 9th inning, that's a circle game.
Yeah, it sure helps that the Astros tomorrow have Justin Verlander on the mound, and you're going to be there for that game. And that really helps. You have a stopper that will stop this bleeding that the pitching, that the relief corps really put on themselves. But what a game, what energy, both teams not giving in. And you got to give a lot of credit to the Cleveland Indians. They battled with 2 outs, 2 strikes. They were getting their singles.
You almost called the Kipnis home run going deep. Warning track, though, that one.
By that much.
Angels and Yankees. Shohei Ohtani facing off versus Masahiro Tanaka. First time since 2013, his rookie year in Japan. Ohtani 0 for 11 with 6 Ks. A lot of fans on hand. Tanaka gets Ohtani with a splitter.
Right, and when that split is right, even Ohtani, who throws a great one himself, can't deal with it.
Ohtani worked a walk his second at-bat. This time, 1-2 splitter. Eddie, give the edge to Tanaka.
Siéntate. Sit down. That's what it means. And that's not Japanese. That's Spanish for you guys that don't understand that.
Manny actually used to say it all the time. We got it. 0 for 2, 2 Ks and 1 walk. In the 9th, Ohtani's facing Aroldis Chapman. Ohtani, 101 miles an hour ball four.
Right, so Ohtani's the only one this year to throw a pitch 100 miles an hour and face somebody throwing 100 miles an hour.
Amazing.
What do you think about that?
Where do you get these stats?
I pay attention. This is a great play by Didi Gregorius, who we'll see tomorrow at Yankee Stadium. He's really struggled at the plate, but obviously hasn't affected his defense.
Yankees win at 3-1. All the talk with the offense, they can win a close game as well. Twins facing the Mariners. Bottom of the 8th, tied at 1. Runners in first and second. Ryan Healy This will go all the way to the wall. 2-run score. Mariners take a 3-1 lead. How are the Mariners doing this?
The Mariners are getting a production from a lot of people, and it's not always their best people, some of whom are suspended, but Ryan Healy's done a nice job. He wasn't even supposed to be healthy enough to play this early.
Alex Colomé, Eddie, looking for the save at his Mariners debut.
Yeah, and then Edwin Diaz gets the day off right here. Colomé gets away with a pitch up on a 3-2 count, but when you don't have anybody on, you can get away with it. They would have just made it 3-2 if they went deep. Colomé, contact, save.
Now they have a closer for the 8th inning if they need him. That's how good Colomé is.
Mariners win at 3-1. It's going to be a blast tomorrow because all of us are working. Tim will be in the Bronx, the Astros and Yankees. I'll be calling the White Sox and Indians with Rick Sutcliffe, and Eddie is with Dave Fleming as the Giants and Rockies, 7 o'clock Eastern. Great baseball on Monday on ESPN. Still to come here on Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. Javier Baez has been sensational with the bat for the Cubs this season. 12 home runs, leading the team. He's also second in RBI. Talk all about Javier Baez a little later on the show, and you'll see him top of the hour.
His whole game is so mature. I mean, his base running,
Baez tries to score. He does.
his defense,
What a play by Baez.
his arm.
He has got one of the best arms in the National League.
Now, as he matures as a hitter, I have no idea what he's going to do because he is one of the more exciting players in the game right now.
Turn up your swagger game with One-A-Day Men's.
Get ready for the wildlife.
A complete multivitamin with key nutrients plus B vitamins for heart health. Your One-A-Day is showing.
It's the Memorial Day sale at Ace.
Get 30% off our top paint brands.
30% off paint now through Monday. And with the Extra Mile promise, get everything you need to paint in one trip or delivery is free. Only at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
McDonald's new fresh beef quarter pounder is so good it's left Gary speechless. So here's Gabrielle Union to speak for him.
Oh, you answered my call, cooked right when I ordered you. You know I can't resist all that hotness. Oh, that 100% fresh beef juiciness, the melty cheese, the pickles. You're all I think about. The burger, Gary, the burger.
The new, hotter, juicier fresh beef quarter pounder burgers. So good, they'll leave you speechless.
At Beauty Rest, we don't just make mattresses so you can get better sleep. We make them so you can be more awake. This Memorial Day, experience Beauty Rest Black at your local retailer.
This is your wake-up call. If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis, month after month, the clock is ticking on irreversible joint damage. Ongoing pain and stiffness are signs of joint erosion. Humira can help stop the clock. Prescribed for 15 years, Humira targets and blocks a source of inflammation that contributes to joint pain and irreversible damage.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Help stop the clock on further irreversible joint damage. Talk to your rheumatologist. Right here, right now. Humira.
100 calories. It's like nothing you've ever tasted before. White Claw Hard Seltzer.
How does Kind make a great tasting protein bar? We crack some nuts, add rich dark chocolate, spread crunchy peanut butter, and pack in 12 grams of protein and 4 awesome flavors. New Kind protein from real food.
These neighbors are starting right. Miracle-Gro guarantees results with rich potting mix and essential plant food. For 3 times the blooms, success is sweet. Miracle-Gro, 3 times the beauty, 1 powerful guarantee.
Baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, is presented by Chevy, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. And in part by Ace, the helpful place. And McDonald's new 100% fresh beef quarter pounder burgers, cooked right when ordered.
With Tim Kirsten and Eduardo Perez, I'm Adnan Burke on Baseball Tonight. Do not forget, Intentional Talk, weekdays 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Rose and Millar, always entertaining, always a fun watch. Make sure you join us, 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Back to the highlights we go. Red Sox facing the Braves. Chris Sale has allowed 3 earned runs or fewer, 11 straight starts. Second inning, though, Sale's in some trouble early. Pitches a gift to Tyler Flowers. Eagle.
0-2 count. Tyler Flowers, too good of a pitch. The first 4 runs scored with 2 strikes with the hitters against Chris Sale. That is a big no-no for him right here. Again, 1-2 count, base hit to right field, and then Jackie Bradley Jr. right there misplays that ball, and another run scores.
Yeah, Bradley playing right, tight back, a little bit of a tight back from Mookie Betts.
Charlie Culberson goes to second easily on the error as Braves go up 4-0, and then Freddie Freeman into the gap.
And then the other 3 runs, by the way, scored on the first pitch of the at-bat. Freddie Freeman right there all over that slider on an 0-0 count. And I love the base running. Acuna with his energy, but most importantly, Freeman getting to third base.
Sale 4 1/3, 5 hits, 6 earned, 8 Ks. Atypical. Scary moment in the 7th. It's Acuna. One of the baby Braves getting so much hype for this team. Ground ball to short, beats the throw to first, running through the bag, but then that stumble, yikes.
The first thing's this. The stumble, yes, that is very scary. Eric Young all over it. We covered that early in the game. Hopefully he'll be okay. That is scary. But Bogarts, you better know the speed of a Ronald Acuna Jr. taking his time, throwing over to first base. Love the hustle. Now the Braves fans are praying that this man gets back on the field.
He did walk off under his own power. Braves say suffering from knee and lower back pain. Braves win at 7-1. Nationals looking to sweep the Marlins. Tim, they've turned it on. Top of the 4th, Anthony Rendon, 5th home run.
They're swinging the bat so much better, and that's in part because Anthony Rendon is healthy, and Daniel Murphy went out on a rehab assignment today. Once they get everybody healthy, this is a great offensive team.
Steven Strasburg came into the game, 18-inning consecutive scoreless streak against the Marlins. Kept it going, Eddie.
Yeah, he did, and it was a changeup that worked for him against the lefties and righties, both just sinking out of the way. And then, if you sit change, he's going to throw 97.
5 innings, no earned, 8 Ks. And then Bryce Harper. You mentioned that offense, Tim. 16th home run of the season for Harper.
Well, look where this ball ends up. Again, he just needed to take a look at where it landed, because it landed in a place where not many balls end up.
Man alive. Nationals win at 5-2, 11th straight win over the Marlins, so taking care of that feeble opposition. First place Phillies, that's right, facing the Blue Jays. Top of the 2nd, though. Devin Travis line one in the gap. Jays go up 2-0.
Yeah, it was a big day for the Seminoles. They end up winning the ACC tournament. And Devin Travis also gets a big double right here. He needs to stay healthy. You like how I put that in there, don't you?
Isn't that where you went to school?
That's right, Tim.
Very subtle shout out.
Subtle.
To you. Top of the line, Jays up 1. That's Curtis Granderson, 4 home runs this year. So the Jays take this one. 14-4 against the Phillies since 2012. That's the 2nd highest win percentage versus a single opponent during that span. So 5-3 was the final. On this Memorial Day, baseball pauses to remember those brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. Go to MLBcommunity.org to learn more about how you can support military families grieving the loss of a loved one. We're back with more in just a second, including Brandon Belt of the San Francisco Giants. He has had a terrific season so far. We'll ask him why he's been so successful. That's next on Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown.
Let me so cool.
Really? Man, I might, you know.
So, like,
So, get in there.
It's all energy. Yeah, sure. Because, you know what? It's all about energy. You're so right. It's like, it's so true. You know what I mean? You gotta.
The moment you realize a good backyard party requires a good backyard.
At Lowe's, we have everything you need to create the outdoor space you've always wanted. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
Shop Memorial Day savings and get premium mulch, now 5 bags for $10.
With Expedia, you can book a flight, hotel, car, and activity all in one place. Everything you need to go. Expedia.
Mix and match the flame grilled Whopper with crispy chicken or spicy crispy chicken. The 2 for $6 mix or match deal. Only at Burger King.
Juggling all the things we do is a challenge.
But hey, it's a fun challenge.
And our Tempur-Pedic helps us make it all work.
It gives us the best night's sleep ever.
I recommend my Tempur-Pedic to everybody.
The most highly recommended bed in America. Now ranked highest in customer satisfaction with mattresses by J.D. Power and #1 in comfort, support, and value. Now through June 3rd is your last chance to save up to $700 on select adjustable mattress sets. Don't miss our Memorial Day sale. Visit Tempur-Pedic.com to find your exclusive retailer today.
Tim is moving up in the world, promotion-wise, but his search for an apartment that's close to his new job was going nowhere fast-wise. The buttons they should be pressing are right here on apartments.com, where he can find the most places near his work and propel his upward mobility. Ta-da! The perfect launching pad for the new
Assistant Deputy to the Associate VP of Sales.
The what? Apartments.com. Change your apartment, change the world.
When aviation is in your blood, you learn how to fly. When your family serves, you learn the meaning of hard work. And when you're born with a name that stands for power, performance, and precision engineering, you better make the family proud. Welcome to Textron Off-Road. Side-by-sides and ATVs built with a work ethic and a relentless pursuit of adventure.
Universal Technical Institute is now training students for future positions in the transportation industry. If you have a passion for putting machines to the test, UTI is ready for you with over $15 million in sponsored scholarships this year. We build our programs with the leading names in the business, so you can learn the professional skills you need in classrooms like these. Visit uti.edu to find out about programs, campuses, and financial aid. Contact us today to enroll.
Amen. Let's play ball.
Oh, he pops it into center field. Could be trouble.
Hey, Walker, go, 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 go.
However you play ball, play ball. Go to playball.org to find out more.
American Ninja Warrior means believing in yourself.
I went from not being able to walk to compete on American Ninja Warrior.
We have the power to inspire a new generation. Just thinking about it gives me chills.
No matter what color your skin is,
No matter how hard things get,
we never give up.
Because we are ninja.
American Ninja Warrior premieres this Wednesday on NBC.
You're watching Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, presented by Chevrolet.
Things go bad, they really go bad for the San Francisco Giants.
The sixth inning has turned into a full-fledged disaster for the Giants.
We're going to wash off what happened last year.
I think it was kind of an eye-opener for us.
You learn from your mistakes. I think any team has to do that. The front office did a great job making some really nice additions.
Welcome to San Francisco, Andrew McCutcheon.
starts with believing that the group of guys that you have in the room is capable of winning.
There's a lot of pride involved. We take ownership of what happened last year, but we have to take ownership of getting this thing turned around, and these guys have a great attitude right now.
Well, let's take a look at StatCast powered by AWS and Brandon Belt specifically. 20.2% barrel rate this season. That's third in Major League Baseball and almost double what his barrel rate was from 2015 to 2017. Clearly, he has been much more productive for San Francisco this year. And joining us now is Brandon Belt of the San Francisco Giants. Brandon, as we just showed there by those stats, you're barreling up the ball right now as good as anybody in baseball. Why is that?
I think I made a few adjustments this offseason, both mentally and physically. That's helped me to stay a lot shorter and keep my weight back, and I think that's allowing me to get the barrel of the ball.
Yeah, the hard hit rate has been exceptional. Also, you're hitting the ball a lot more the opposite field. Is that something you made a conscious decision to do?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Last year, I think I got a little bit too pull happy, hit too many balls on the ground. So I wanted to go back to one of my strengths, and that was hitting the ball the other way and, hitting line drives and keeping the ball in the air and giving myself a chance to get a hit.
You mentioned the mental aspect of the game as well, Brandon. You're hitting 344 against fastballs. You're hitting over 400 against changeups. How important is that as well, just your pitch recognition and not getting fooled on those pitches?
It's extremely important to me. I have to go up there, knowing the strike zone, knowing what I can hit well. I have to trust that I can recognize those pitches. When I get in trouble, it's because I don't trust myself. And so if I can go up there and, just see the ball first and trust what I'm seeing, I'm going to have some success.
Well, right now you're having an exceptional season. As far as the team is concerned, I know you're sub 500, but playing better baseball now and a very winnable division, just a couple games back of the Colorado Rockies. How important is that to the team knowing you guys are right in the thick of this?
I think it's extremely important, and we're coming and battling every day, missing a few guys, few key guys, but I think that once we get those guys back, we're going to have a good chance at making a run here towards the end of the season. So we have a lot of confidence in ourselves right now.
Now, you mentioned those guys coming back, Madison Bumgarner, Joe Panik, Hunter Pence. And what do each of those guys bring to the table that's so important to your team?
I mean, just leadership, and I think anytime you get a key component like that back in your lineup or on the pitching staff, it puts everybody else at ease a little bit more, and people can kind of just relax and not feel like they have to go up there and do more than what they're capable of doing. So I think just getting those guys back will help us settle down and get in there and do what we know we can do.
Well, on pace right now, you are to set career best in batting average, OBP, OPS. Terrific start to the season. Keep it up. Really appreciate the time.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, back to the house we go, staying in the West. Reds and Rockies. Matt Harvey getting the start. Reds up 1-0 in the first, and Harvey gives up to David Dahl, third home run of the season.
Ball's up in the zone, and at 90 or 91, as Harvey's thrown these days, can't exist up there.
So there's no humidor that can stop that.
No.
Young Rockies fan throwing that ball back. Led in the first. Carlos Gonzalez, that's 461 feet.
Yeah, and you see all the reaction behind the plate. Pitch down and in. There are two combos. Pitch up in the zone, pitch down and in to the lefty hitter. Watch the reaction. Not good, but for Carlos Gonzalez, bueno. Very good. Nice to see him get it going.
Fifth home run of the season. Upper deck, Rockies win this one 8-2. Arenado also hitting his 10th home run of the season as he goes 2 for 4. How about the Padres and Dodgers? And Walker Buehler was the story in this one.
He was really good. 8 strikeouts in the game, and he had a lot of action, a lot of movement. Using number 21 with the Dodgers. Look a little familiar there, right? Curveball had it going, the slider, the changeup away on lefties. It was all money.
7 innings, 1 earned, 8 Ks. Bottom of the 8th, Cody Bellinger. Tim, this is his 8th home run of the season.
Right, and we can't forget how great he was when he came up last year. Now he's starting to swing it a little bit better. They're moving him around first base, the outfield, and he's starting to produce.
Dodgers take this one as they have been picking things up. A dog with Harry Carey glasses. That's right. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At-Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. That's right. A dog day afternoon still to come. The images of the week. Fantastic baseball, all packaged for your viewing pleasure. It's coming up right after this.
It's the Memorial Day sale at Ace.
Get 30% off our top paint brands.
30% off paint now through Monday. And with the Extra Mile Promise, get everything you need to paint in one trip or delivery is free. Only at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Mike's, drink on the bright side.
It's the details that make the difference. Only Botox Cosmetic is FDA approved to temporarily make frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better. It's a quick 10-minute treatment given by a doctor to reduce those lines. Ask your doctor about Botox Cosmetic by name. The effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Do not receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyelid and eyebrow drooping, and eyelid swelling. Tell your doctor about your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. The details make a difference. The man makes them matter. See real results at BotoxCosmetic.com/men.
Delivery should look like this. Crisp leaves of lettuce, freshly made dressing, clean food that looks this good. Eaten at your desk. Panera. Food as it should be. Now delivered.
Our 3 contestants are all at the big IKEA table. Contestant number 1, impressive knife skills. But contestant number 2 fights back by using fresh parsley. Make room for the judge.
What's your dream? At IKEA, we help you live it. Make the dream yours.
Hey! Brady! Hey! Oh, come on. Yeah. Noah! I'm up.
Your arm tired yet?
No.
You good?
Who's your co-pilot? Tune in to the Eastern Conference Finals and see Solo, a Star Wars story. In theaters now. Rated PG-13.
Tired of lugging around big bags of pet food and litter? Get it delivered. Chewy.com delivers everything your pets need right to your door. They ship all your favorite brands of dog food, cat food, litter, toys, and treats, all at amazing prices. Start saving today. Plus, you get fast, free shipping. With Chewy.com, you don't have to break a sweat or the bank.
Save 20% on your first order and get fast, free shipping. Shop online at Chewy.com.
On Travel Channel, Mysteries at the Museum is all new. As Don Wildman returns with new twists on familiar tales. The defiant Cleopatra.
Cleopatra knew she had her wit and her charm.
The mesmerizing House of Secrets.
People didn't believe that there could be a spot where gravity itself was different.
And the Great Earthquake of 1906.
This is a dangerous place I'm standing, yes.
Separate fact from fiction behind the stories you thought you knew.
Rare that people get this view of what we're talking about.
All new Mysteries at the Museum, Thursday at 9
on Travel Channel.
You're watching Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown presented by Chevrolet. Now time for the images of the week.
The youngster has a chance to do some damage. There's a high fly ball. Nearing the wall. See you later.
Came up through these streets. Now who's running the show? Me. Ha ha he he. Yeah. We topping the bill now. Yeah yeah. We stacking the bills now.
Jack Flaherty will go today for the Cardinals. 13 strikeouts.
Great day for a young pitcher.
The Red Sox designated first baseman Hanley Ramirez
for assignment.
See ya! He's done it again!
It's Glaber Day.
Came up through these streets, now who's running the show? Me, ha ha, he.
105? Are you kidding me?
Here's the throw. Here's the play. He's out.
I'm glad I broke 100, so my day was made.
Aaron Judge making Aaron Boone smile right now. He's going to watch a little baseball, a little basketball, have a glass of wine. Feeling good right now if you're the Yankees manager. All right, what stood out, Eddie, for you right now this week, at least in baseball?
Well, I wish I would have said Gleyber Torres, but I didn't. Instead, I'll go with the L.A. Dodgers because 2 weeks ago we're talking about is this team out of it? And all of a sudden, the L.A. Dodgers get that guy back, which is Justin Turner, and things turn around. They've won 8 of the last 10 games. They're getting better at bats. They're getting better pitching, and it seems to work with their youth. They've come in and they've really applied pressure to the teams that they played. They're only 3.5 back now.
And I thought DFAing Hanley Ramirez was the most important thing of the week. I'm really surprised the Red Sox did that. Of course, there are financial ramifications here. They saved a potential $22 million next year in a vesting option, and now they're going to give Mitch Moreland a whole lot more chance to play. He's much better defensively, and I think there was a question, how would Hanley react if he wasn't get to play very much? So that was a very surprising move. We'll see if it works.
Good news for Mitch Moreland. Speaking of surprising, we know starting pitchers only averages 5 1/3 innings a game. How about relievers now starting, though? The revolution is upon us. Sergio Romo, Tim, is going to have like 30 starts this year because Kevin Cash is going, yeah, go out there. Give me an inning and 2/3. Let's go.
Right. Well, this is a case where they have to do this for financial reasons and because they had a couple starting pitchers get hurt. I don't think this is the wave of the immediate future, but more and more teams are going to start looking into this in case it works.
Romo said 4 starts, Eddie, since Saturday.
He's had 4 starts, and this is a copycat league. They're going to see exactly what the Tampa Bay Rays are, how it reacts, how it goes with them. Yeah. And if it goes well, I guarantee you other teams are going to do it. Let's not forget, this was the first team that consistently started shifting all around. All of a sudden, things changed.
Very interesting.
It's very interesting as well. That is a thing. Now time for What a Thing. Always a fun segment here on Baseball Tonight. All right, let's check out what was a thing this week at least. Garrett Cole is a brother-in-law. Brandon Crawford on the mound with Crawford at the plate. That's right. Who is going to win at the dining table when the family gets together? Crawford holding off his brother-in-law.
I wanted to see if the sister was going to be cheering or not for Brandon or for Mr. Cole. That's what I want to see there.
How about Brian Dozier of the Twins? Hits it to the wall. Literally, a line drive stuck in the top of the wall. Tim, you ever seen that?
I've never seen it where you miss a homer by 1 foot and it gets stuck there. That was totally bizarre.
After Nolan Arenado strikes out, he was awfully frustrated. So we've seen this before. Guys get upset. Okay, slam the helmet, slam the bat. Then the high chew bucket going down. Literally, the bat was one thing, but when you go after the gum, he realized his mistake and did express his apology.
Hey, Hi Chew. How are you? I know this is not the best time for this, but I'm really sorry for what I did to you a couple of days ago. You've always treated me right, and you've always been there for me when I needed you most, and I wasn't there for you. I just want you to know that I really care about you, and I always appreciate everything you've done for me.
Yeah, back on delicious terms. I'm glad to see that nice relationship to Nolan Arenado and the high chew. Pablo Sandoval has been hitless in 8 of his last 10 games, but the Giants are trying to keep it loose. They're playing Pepper. They're getting set for the Cubs 20 minutes from now.
McCutchen hits a high fly ball. Gone!
Andrew McCutchen with another walk-off win for the Giants.
Least favorite pitcher to face?
R.A. Dickey.
Probably Kershaw.
Chris Sale. Well, I've only faced him a couple times, but Betances.
He's not a whole lot of fun, and I think everybody knows my stats against him, so it's not that great.
Belt hits a high drive right field. This one is gone! Brandon Belt has put the Giants ahead. He's done it again.
Favorite movie? Tombstone.
Major League. Coming to America. Dumb and Dumber.
Adios! Pelota hits a 3-run homer for Evan Longoria.
Favorite TV show? Game of Thrones.
Seinfeld. Fresh Prince.
Frasier.
And Posey's got a double and an RBI.
He swings and launches one to deep left field. It is gone.
Celebrity crush. Can't answer that.
Will Smith.
I like follow zero tabloid.
Jennifer Aniston.
The original wife on Vikings, man. I think I got a pretty good crush on her right now.
Jennifer Aniston, pretty popular pick, you're telling me, Eddie?
Big time. Big time.
How about McCutcheon? Will Smith is a celebrity
Coming
crush.
to America from McCutcheon. He does a great Eddie Murphy. He can do all sorts of impersonations.
When we come back, Web Gems of the Week for your viewing pleasure.
Mix and match the Flame Grilled Whopper with crispy chicken or spicy crispy chicken. The 2 for $6 mix or match deal. Only at Burger King.
Turn up your swagger game with One-A-Day Men's.
Get ready for the wildlife.
A complete multivitamin with key nutrients plus B vitamins for heart health. Your One-A-Day is showing.
That'd be so cool. Really? Man, I might,
So, get in there.
Oh, yeah, sure. You know what? It's all about energy. You're so right. It's like, it's so true. You know what I mean? You get it.
The moment you realize a good backyard party requires a good backyard.
At Lowe's, we have everything you need to create the outdoor space you've always wanted. All projects have a starting point. Start with Lowe's.
Shop Memorial Day savings and get up to 20% off select grills.
At Beauty Rest, we don't just make mattresses so you can get better sleep. We make them so you can be more awake. This Memorial Day, experience Beauty Rest Black at your local retailer.
This is your wake-up call. If you have moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis, month after month, the clock is ticking on irreversible joint damage. Ongoing pain and stiffness are signs of joint erosion. Humira can help stop the clock. Prescribed for 15 years, Humira targets and blocks a source of inflammation that contributes to joint pain and irreversible damage.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Help stop the clock on further irreversible joint damage. Talk to your rheumatologist. Right here, right now. Humira.
Introducing the world's first self-winding string trimmer, the new Ego string trimmer with power load technology. Feed the line. Push the button. And get back to work. With an industry-first carbon fiber shaft, lawn care has never been this easy or this powerful. The new Ego Power Plus string trimmer with power load technology, exclusively at the Home Depot and Ego authorized dealers.
How does Kind make a great tasting protein bar? We crack some nuts, add rich dark chocolate, spread crunchy peanut butter, and pack in 12 grams of protein and 4 awesome flavors. New Kind protein from real food.
They're getting more out of life by starting with Miracle Grow, potting mix and plant food. Together guaranteed to produce 3 times the harvest. More to enjoy, to share. 3 times the harvest, 1 powerful guarantee. Miracle Grow.
Count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it, count it up, count it up, count it up, count it. Can't take it when you die, but you can't live without it.
Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, is presented by Chevy, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. And in part by Ego Power Plus. Ego, power beyond belief. And the long-lasting power of Energizer. Still going.
All right, 15 minutes away from Giants and Cubs from the friendly confines. Now time for some web gems of the week. Number 5, Jorge Alfaro. This was incredible. Ender Inciarte to the bunt. Alfaro fields it. Got him.
He's got one of the great throwing arms from behind the plate, and here we saw him make a great defensive play and a cannon, of course, first.
When he was with the Texas Rangers, Juan Porky Lopez was on him every day, and those plays are now paying off.
Brent Suter, quick off the mound, flips it first for the out.
It was amazing. His only shot was a bare hand play there and flips it while falling.
I thought Dallas Keuchel was the best athlete on the mound. That right there shows me a lot from a lefty.
How about Tony Kemp? Fly ball, left field corner. Kemp jumps, makes the catch just as he hits the wall.
In that right hand, I was concerned when he went up with the right hand. I thought he was going to feel for the wall. Instead, man, that corner, it's like the Bermuda Triangle, and he made a catch.
Number 2 is Brandon Crawford. You'll see him tonight. Grounded towards third, off Longoria's glove. Crawford, bare hand, gets Baez.
When you hear bare hand, shortstop, you always think of Omar Vizquel, right?
Right, of course.
Well, this right here, off the third baseman, beautiful play. Mr. Bell, way to make it happen.
Number 1, Francisco Lindor. Chopper to short. Lindor plays the hop perfectly and gets Altuve.
That ball explodes as soon as it hits the ground, goes over his head, and he still sees where it is. The athleticism of our middle infielders is ridiculous these days, and he's one of them.
Altuve, too, able to get him impressive. Corey Kluber is loving it. How about a bonus web gem? SEC baseball tournament. Foul ball in the stands, and check out the fan. Yeah, catching the ball in the cup. Yes, what a play. Yes. Tremendous catch. Had it all the way.
Yeah, he had the lid on, too. You see that?
Yeah, sparsely populated at least. There's plenty of good seats available. All right, time to rewind right now with baseball tonight. Get your cop to date. Astros and Indians. Excuse me. This is 9-all the 14th. This is Allen, his first home run of the year as they walk it off.
Right, and so that's his first walk-off, second walk-off hit, first walk-off homer, second homer of his career.
And Cleveland was down 8-3 in the ninth.
A little disappointed in your call right there. I thought you were going to say, we're walking here, we're walking here.
You're right, I missed opportunity. Ronald Acuna here for the Atlanta Braves. It's tough to watch, Timmy, I know. But best case, Eddie, hyperextended knee?
That's what they're praying for right now. The MRI will tell the story, but good news seeing him walk off like that.
Angels and Yankees. This Yankees offense can bash, they can also pitch. 3-1, Chapman gets the final out here. Gregorius, nice play.
Yeah, nice play. And also knowing who the runner was, Martin Machete Maldonado going down the line. Looks like he wasn't playing the piano, but he sure was carrying it on the way there.
Jeez. A good musical tribute. Orioles in the Rays, swinging a sweet tune. Carlos Gomez, what a catch! Oh my God!
I love it, man. Hey, this guy comes with energy all day.
But that's it. I don't know about that kind of reaction. Game 7 of the World Series, I'm okay with that. I don't know.
You know what? I'm all in because he's consistent. He's like this 24/7, man. This guy plays with energy.
Okay, he is fun. I'll give you that. This is Sal Perez, 2-run home run.
Hey, this is like my brother, but not from another mother. Salvador Perez.
And he's
beautifully done. No, he's Venezuelan.
Let me clear that up for everybody. Arizona Diamondbacks taking on Oakland. Jonathan Lucroy, the home run. D-backs 2-15 the last 17 games.
Tremendous trouble scoring runs, and that's been going on for over 3 weeks now.
Bulls been hitting just above 200, and Nationals and Marlins. Nationals offense coming on strong.
Right there, Mr. Garcia just found out one important thing. You cannot miss your spot against Mr. Harper.
Jays and the Phillies. Tim, you'll appreciate this. Curtis Granderson, 156th career home run from the leadoff spot. Only Ian Kinsler, more home runs among active players.
That's pretty good. He's had a pretty nice career. He keeps bouncing around and producing in most of the places he goes.
5-3, Jays win, and the Cardinals and the Pirates. As the Cardinals emerged after Vasquez just lost us a walk.
Yeah, the bullpen could not hold it for the Pirates. They had a 4-1 lead going into the 7th inning. They just could not hold.
And then the Mets and the Brewers, Santana here. Domingo Santana, base hit, 2-run score.
Brewers have won 13 out of 17. They have the best record in the National League. They should be in the top 5 of the power rankings.
Keep throwing them under the bus, Tim. Keep throwing your team under the bus.
The Brewers, they're unbelievable. All right, today we take our hats off to Chris Bryant and Kyle Schwarber, brought to you by T-Mobile. Tuesday, May 22nd, Cubs and Boeing honored the men and women of our U.S. Armed Forces by offering fans specially priced tickets to see the Cubs face the Indians at Wrigley. Each purchase of a military appreciation night ticket included Cubs military camo baseball cap, plus a portion of net proceeds were donated to USO of Illinois on behalf of Boeing.
The Giants, the Cubs, these games have intensity.
Gone! Javi Baez!
Chris Bryant.
This team is better than last year. Maybe the best lineup in the league.
Brandon Belt, he's done it again.
Goria, franchise player. Posey, franchise player.
Andrew McCutcheon, are you kidding me? Almora back, what a catch!
About as good a play as you'll see.
Adios! Evan Longoria.
Anthony Rizzo, the bat has come to life.
Buster Posey, gone!
Chris Bryant, oh baby!
All right, Giants and Cubs coming up 10 minutes from now. Let's recap for you what has happened on Friday. It was the Cubs offense that was strong. Not only Ben Zobrist, but also Chris Bryant. Those guys had a couple of RBIs apiece, as Hendricks did the rest of the work as well on the mound. 7 innings, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. For Cubs rotation that actually ranks 10th right now in the majors, a good sign and plenty of offense once again from Bryant and Zobrist. On Saturday, a different story as the Giants struck back. Brandon Crawford, a 2-run home run. A big blow for San Francisco, right in the thick of it right now, that NL West race. And also Brandon Belt, who we talked about earlier, has been so impressive so far this season. He also delivers as the Giants win this one 5-4 was the final on Saturday, and as such we've got Jessica Mendoza is fired up for the Giants and Cubs. She's got great seats as well. Jess, you came prepared with that glove as well.
I'm like playing outfield. Like I'm going back to my playing days. Like I got my glove on. I'm ready in game. Anyone hits it out, I got Alex covered. Don't worry. Like I'll be grabbing anything.
We never doubt your skills on and off the field. Let's talk with a couple of players in middle infield that could be stars tonight. Brandon Crawford, the Giants, rather unheralded, and then the very flashy Javi Baez, the Chicago Cubs.
You know, Adnan, it's so cool because to me, you got two very different guys that are so talented, but in different ways. And Brandon Crawford, I feel like, is one of the most underrated shortstops. He is my favorite shortstop in the National League. And to me, it's like he gets attention when he hits, but it's his defense that's always been so consistent, so good. The 2 Gold Gloves. And when I think about on the opposite end, you got Javi Baez, right? I mean, this is a guy that's second in the league in RBI, but then he's also got leading in errors. So you're going to see the swing and miss. You're going to see him be able to crush the ball. He's super flashy. Your eyes are drawn to him. And also on the flip side, you got Crawford just under the radar doing his thing.
It's going to be a ton of fun to watch both those guys tonight. And here's hoping you get to catch a couple of balls. Jessica Mendoza.
It's happening. It's happening.
All right, let's go beyond the box score. Talk more about Javi Baez. Eduardo Perez with a bat in his hand. Watch out, everybody.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. It's been a while. You know, one thing about Javi Baez that he has done this year with new hitting coach Chili Davis, he's trying to use the middle of the field opposite side because of his violent swing, which he really doesn't even know it's that violent. He doesn't feel it. This is what I mean by it, because you look at Javi Baez last year, closed stance, looking straight out and trying to pull everything and swing at everything. And then teams, if you look at the rewind, watch right here. Look at the face where it's at. The chin is not tight looking down. You want that chin down, close to the shoulders, from one shoulder to the other. The legs are wide open right there. One thing you don't need from Javi Baez. Now, in 2018, when Chili Davis came in, a little bit more of an open stance. He's taller right now. He sets up a little bit later, and then he scissor cuts it at the end. And this is what I mean by it. Look at it. Now, the chin to the shoulder right there, the legs strong down low, but the scissor kick on the bottom part is what I love. It doesn't cut off his swing. It gives him more consistency. He still has to work on pitch selection. Sometimes he'll swing at that pitch in the dirt, but the scissor kick has been the key to it, because when he goes like this, he would cut off. Now he stays through, kicks, and is able to swing away. And that is why Javi Baez has just been so consistent throughout this year, especially with runners on base.
A second in the lineup for the Cubs. We take a look at the lineup that Joe Maddon is trotting out for tonight's game. Baez been terrific, obviously, as Eddie mentioned, not only hitting the home runs, but RBI. But overall, Tim, you look at this Cubs lineup. Who is it that you think they should be focusing on?
Well, Anthony Rizzo's the guy who's going to get hot. He hasn't had any sort of success so far. Joe Maddon told us the other day, no one is hitting in worse luck than Anthony Rizzo. When he comes around, the team will come with it.
That cleanup hitter behind Chris Bryant and just ahead of Wilson Contreras. Let's go out to Chicago and Wrigley Field. Welcome our friend Buster Olney, who'll be a part of the broadcast. Buster, Javier Baez, explain how exactly he's become such a big threat for Chicago.
The table with the 12 homers and the 39 RBI and the 30 runs scored and the 7 stolen bases and the great tags in the defense. There is this. He hasn't drawn a walk in 151 plate appearances, and he's got a .295 on base percentage. When I asked Joe Maddon before about whether or not he's worried about that, he said, look, yeah, eventually there's going to be a time for that conversation, but for now, they're just happy with what Javier Baez is doing well.
Yeah, certainly he has been great. Yu Darvish was thought to get the start tonight. Instead, he goes in the DL. Tyler Chatwood gets the call, their offseason signing. A lot of walks, but so far, what do you expect from him tonight, Buster?
Yeah, and first off, on Yu Darvish, he began to feel some discomfort since his last start, and Joe Maddon had him in his office a couple days ago and asked him, look, is it stiffness, is it pain? He's cognizant of the fact that Darvish might be trying to pitch through something when he's not entirely healthy, so they put him on the disabled list. He's going to get an MRI. They're going to get more information on him. Tyler Chatwood, who starts tonight, 40 walks in 45 2/3 innings, and Maddon said they're working through some mechanical issues with him. They also feel like maybe this is someone who's putting pressure on himself. That might be the case with both guys. Darvish and Chatwood came to the Cubs for $164 million in the offseason.
All right, Buster, thank you so much. We'll see you on the call a couple of minutes from now as part of the game. Let's take a look at how the month of May has given Anthony Rizzo a fresh start presented by Wells Fargo. Hitting 149, 1 extra base hit through April. Rizzo has looked a lot more like himself this month, hitting 272 in May to go along with 10 extra base hits and more walks than strikeouts. And as Tim said, once he really gets going, then the Cubs offense will be in much better shape. As for the Giants lineup, they have been improved, especially Brandon Crawford and the rest of this offense. Eddie, who stands out for you here in San Francisco's lineup?
Well, to me, you look at the top of the order, Gorky Hernandez has swung really well, but Brandon Belt has been the consistent guy in that lineup. He's been able to hit for power, has been able to get on, and when you have Brandon Belt getting on base and being able to drive runs and lifting the ball the way he has, and we talked about it, the third highest barrel rate, it has to be Brandon Belt.
Let's go back to Buster Olney. That's not a misprint, Buster. Pablo Sandoval playing second base, hitting 6th for San Francisco. For those who are unaware of what Panda's done so far, what have you seen?
And I'm having a hard time hearing you, Adnan, but I know you asked me about Pablo Sandoval. When we asked Bruce Bochy about Sandoval making his first career start at second base, he said, we're just looking for a quality start. In other words, 6 innings. If they have a lead, maybe get him out for defense. Look, with Ty Block on the mound, a lot of right-handed hitters in the game for the Cubs, so Sandoval might not get a lot of action. I talked to him before, and he said double plays are not going to be the issue. Relays, on the other hand, he said that might be an issue. He might get confused to be listening a lot to Brandon Crawford, the shortstop. Joe Panik expected to be back from an injury rehabilitation assignment in about a week.
You mentioned Joe Panik coming back. How about Madison Bumgarner, Buster? What's the update on when he could return?
Yeah, 47 pitches in his rehab start last night, and the Giants' initial thought had been to give him a couple more starts, but guys, he looks so good that his next start might be for the Giants in the big leagues against the Phillies next weekend. And look, they're going to have their ace back at some point soon, whether it's next weekend or down the road. They've weathered so much early in this year, and yet when you look at the standings, just 2.5 games out, Giants players telling me they've had some brutal 3-city road trips that they're going to be done with in the middle of June. And then for 2 months, they'll have all their games in the Pacific time zone, Mountain time zone. It feels like that there's a lot of light on the horizon for the Giants, Adnan.
All right, great stuff, Buster. Appreciate that. Looking forward to the game minutes from now. Listen, you get Mad Bum back, Joe Panik back, Hunter Pence back. You're only 2 games back in the West, Eddie. All of a sudden, you're feeling good if you're the Giants.
It nullifies losing Johnny Cueto. You're absolutely right. This is a guy that you need in your staff just because of the attitude itself. You get Mad Bum back, it starts feeling pretty good for that
If
team.
I'm the Giants, I'm thrilled to be where they are. And let's face it, in this division, nobody is going to run away in this division. We've already seen the stumbles of the Dodgers and now the Diamondbacks. This thing is open to everyone, and I think the Giants are in it, and I would have never thought that 2 months ago.
All right, about 45 to go. Who do you like tonight, Giants or Cubs?
I like the Giants, and I like them taking the lead early. Reason, I don't know if Chatwood can throw strikes, and I think this will be a patient veteran team.
I'm going with the Cubs. We saw Chatwood the last time out. He has a lot of trouble throwing strikes. He's got 40 walks, but everything moves. His stuff is still good.
I like the Cubs as well. Offense has picked things up a little bit, 5.2 runs per month this month of May. I think the rest of the offense will come alive. Just as Rizzo's picked it up, so will Bryant and company. And Javier Baez has been unbelievable.
He really has. He's been unbelievable. They still need him to stay consistent.
For Tim Kirchin, Eduardo Perez, I'm Matt Namberg. Thanks so much for watching baseball tonight's Sunday Night Countdown with Buster Olney, Jessica Mendoza, and Alex Rodriguez. Here's Matt Vasgersian.
Adnan, thanks, and Wrigleyville is jumping on this Memorial Day weekend Sunday. Of course, here at the friendly confines, every game day is a big event. The San Francisco Giants and the Chicago Cubs wrapping up a 3-game series. It's Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell. Some of the hottest bats in the National League, some of the most distinguished bats in the National League, and a couple of teams that have met in the postseason as recently as just a couple of years ago in the rubber match of their 3-game series here in Chicago. Well, as we take a look at the standings in the NL Central and in the West, 2 perennial postseason contenders lingering around the middle of the pack and hoping that this weekend is the starting point toward moving to the top of the division. This is usually the time of the telecast that we say welcome to the broadcast booth. Tonight, for the next 3 weeks, we're saying welcome to the bleachers. Here we are. It's a beautiful, shady, warm afternoon at Wrigley. It's Sunday in the seats, and the last vestiges of glare and heat are looking directly at us here in right field. If you thought we missed a lot of action when we had a good view, you just wait, America, with Jessica Mendoza, Alex Rodriguez, Matt Vasgersian. You look like you're right out of a Jimmy Buffett song, Alex. Look at you.
It is warm. It is hot. But this is fun. This is really fun.
He's sweating. I got my glove on. I'm ready to play. Like, I'll jump into right field right now and get some balls.
Let's start by talking about the Giants. They did not get off to a great start this season offensively, but they've heated up. And as we look at who's flipping the switch, brought to you by Boost Mobile, it's a couple of infielders. Brandon Crawford, red hot in May, a Major League Best 446 this month. He is a May Player of the Month candidate, the only shortstop in the National League hitting over 300. Brandon Belt, just as hot. Player of the Week for another day or so, and en route to being the first Giant to enjoy a 30-home run season since Barry Bonds did it back in 2004. Alex, it's the left-handed hitting Brandons that are carrying the load for San Francisco.
Absolutely, and then their championship run, it was all about Bumgarner and Buster Posey, and rightfully so. But right now and in the future is all about Brandon Crawford and Brandon Belt. They're both professionals. They both are world champions. They hit for power, they hit for contact, they hit in the clutch, and they're going from good to great. Yesterday, Sean Dunston, the 18-year Major League veteran, told me, A-Rod, Brandon Crawford is a mega superstar.
The Cubs on the other side of the scorecard have a shortstop they think is a mega superstar, and he contrasts a little bit to Brandon Crawford.
Absolutely. I mean, you think mega superstar for Brandon Crawford. How about Javier Baez? But he does it in a completely different way, the way he goes about playing the game. First of all, you think about he's second in the league in RBIs, but he's also first in errors. I mean, this guy is going to swing and miss. He's going to chase, but when he connects, it is awesome. He's dynamic with his tags, the way he plays the game. But again, it's so different from how you see other superstars in the game today. He, to me, is the most dynamic player in the game of baseball.
I want to put a disclaimer on the entire telecast tonight because the three of us are generally distracted by loud noises, a shiny watch in the back of the room.
Food, hot dogs
tonight,
going by.
There are a lot of things that'll be grabbing our attention. We'll do our best to kind of push away from all the distractions and enjoy a really fun night in Chicago. The lineups and the first pitch.
Let's play 2.
Coming up next.
Take heed. Taco Bell's Naked Chicken Chalupa Menace is back, along with a spicy new wilder version, a.k.a. the Hot Daddy-O, a.k.a. the Flaming Phoenix, a.k.a. the Spicy Chicky Choop Choop. At least, that's what the youths call them.
I have literally never said Spicy Chicky Choop Choop before.
You just did, Jerry. You just did. So when it comes to Taco Bell's mild or wild Naked Chicken Chalupas, heed my advice and say no to spice.
Brought to you by the Council for Eating Fried Chicken the same way you always have, and not Taco Bell.
I said I'm sorry. I was eating a Milky Way. Hey, pass me that bug spray. At least it was SPF 50. Sorry.
be here to help if I need you?
I got you.
What about here?
Yep.
Here?
Yes, Kyle.
And here's Sir Robert from State Farm.
If you invite me.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Before Nexium 24-Hour, Mark could only imagine a peaceful night's sleep without frequent heartburn waking him up. Now, that dream is a reality. Nexium 24-Hour stops acid before it starts for all-day, all-night protection. Can you imagine 24 hours without heartburn?
Experience the 2018 Lexus NX and the NX Hybrid with a class-leading 31 mpg combined estimate.
Lease the 2018 NX 300 for $339 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus.
Allergies with sinus congestion and pressure? You won't find relief here. Go to the pharmacy counter for powerful Claritin D. While the leading allergy spray only relieves 6 symptoms, Claritin D relieves 8, including sinus congestion and pressure. Claritin D relieves more.
Life is the sum of our choices. Choices define who we are.
I want you.
It's very exciting.
Order Stars and get your first month free.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN is presented by Taco Bell's new Wild Naked Chicken Chalupa. And in part by Tecate and Tecate Light. Born bold, enjoy responsibly. And by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800 State Farm. Welcome back inside Wrigley Field, and from our little perch in right, back with Jessica Mendoza, Alex Rodriguez, Matt Vasgersian, Buster Olney with us as always as well, and in a more accustomed position on the field. We're excited for this one, first of 3 straight weekends where we are with the people. Sunday in the seats. Alex, you're the only one that rolled up the long sleeves for this one, by the way.
Well, you know, I was on the field earlier with Baez, and that shirt is drenched. I have it in the washer. I might put it back in the 7th inning or something.
Oh, so you got a polo on, a short sleeve?
Let's take a look at the Taco Bell lineups for the visiting San Francisco Giants tonight.
Well, Alex highlighted Belton Crawford as the bats that have been going, but the 2 that need to are Andrew McCutchen and Evan Longoria. McCutchen about 50 points lower than his career average. You know that he's going to get hot, and he usually does in the second half. And then Evan Longoria, he's about 20 points lower than he normally is, and he's a guy that just needs that transition. But those are 2 bats they definitely need right now.
Something to watch for the Giants tonight. You can see Pablo Sandoval at second base, making his first major league start at that position. Bruce Bochy telling us before the game tonight he's just looking for a little bit of offensive pop at that position until Joe Panik is back. He is on the mend, along with a number of other notable injured Giants, as you heard Adnan and the guys talk about during baseball tonight. On the mound for the Chicago Cubs tonight is the 28-year-old free agent import Tyler Chatwood. And on his line, what really pops out at you is the 40 walks, a National League high total so far this season. Chatwood coming off a start Tuesday against the Indians that was one he'd prefer forgetting. 2 2/3, 4 earned runs, 6 hits, 6 walks, and 1 strikeout. Yeah, the base on balls have been a concern for Joe Madden regarding Chatwood's start. For his part, the Cubs skipper is confident that Tyler Chatwood can slow his game down enough, and for Madden that's the key to have success tonight. On the other side, Bruce Bochy hoping that his wounded stars, most notably Madison Bumgarner, Johnny Cueto, Joe Panik, can return to the fold soon. And when you consider the very slow start the Giants got off to in April, I think their longtime manager is pleased that the top of the division is well within shouting distance here in late May. So we're here at Wrigley Field, and in addition to documenting the Giants and the Cubs, we're going to talk a lot about this venerable ballpark. Opened in 1914, second oldest only to Fenway. The Ivy went down in 1937. Bill Veeck put the bittersweet in the ground. First night game was in '88. The scheduled first game was rained out in a sign from the baseball gods. And it took a long time, but in 2016, this place hosted its first World Series in a while. The following year, they raised the World Series banner. And Wrigley Field, since those days, guys, as we've seen today firsthand, has gone through a number of really impressive changes.
You know, walking around today, it still has the old school vintage museum feel. And walking around, you still get the benefits of just the modern day 2018. The insides are unbelievable.
The air-conditioned bullpens that we could drop down into pregame instead of being down on the sidelines, the bigger dugouts, no one's hitting their head. It's pretty cool, though, I'm telling you, right here, to be out in the outfield. This is special.
Yeah, on the surface, it still looks like it's 1945, but they have modernized the guts of this place to the degree that it is still one of the game's great cathedrals. So we're ready for baseball tonight. And Tyler Chatwood ready to go to work on his 10th starting assignment of the year. Gorkis Hernandez, Andrew McCutchen, and Brandon Belt lead things off for the visiting Giants. And we are underway at Wrigley. With a first pitch ground ball to the left side of the infield. A very efficient start for the former Angel and Rocky.
And that's a key for Tyler's first pitch strikes. He throws 51% first pitch strikes. That is the key tonight. Look for him, if he wants to be successful, to get that up to 70 or 80. That way his sinker chase plays, and also the overhand breaking ball, which Joe Madden thought was his best pitch after the sinker.
Here's Andrew McCutchen now. The five-time All-Star, entering a portion of the season where he has traditionally turned it on. And he could use some good news. Just 5 for his last 29 over his past 7 games. But Memorial Day weekend has been something of a jumping off point for McCutchen the past few years.
Well, you think about even last season and the criticism early on and how he was struggling, especially the first half of the season. But you're right, it was really the first 2 months. And then he got red hot in the back end. You know it's there.
That one misses up and in.
You know, for both McCutchen and Longoria, they look at the first 2 months. This is their trial period. Is the time for them to get adjusted. Longoria, even more adjustments coming from indoor Tropicana to a little bit colder AT&T atmosphere. Turf to grass, different uniform. And he goes from being the face of the franchise to one of the main pieces, but not the face.
3 balls and a strike from Tyler Chatwood. And there's ball 4. Well, that's exactly what Bruce Bochy and his staff want to see on base in front of Brandon Belt. Ducks on the pond. Belt is hot. He leads the National League in OPS at .993. As we mentioned, he's still the National League Player of the Week for another 24 hours or so. And already with 11 home runs, picking up right where he left off last year before his season was cut short with a concussion. And a swing and a miss from Belt. The Giants, the last couple of years, and even dating back to some of their World Series success years, have lamented the lack of power. So they import some free agents. They get aggressive on a deal. And they're hoping that some of the holdovers, guys like Belt and a resurgent Mac Williamson, who's hitting 7th tonight, we'll talk plenty about Mac, can kind of change that dynamic.
You know, and for Belt, he's only 30 years old. I think a lot of it is lost in this translation with this youth movement. But really, really good power hitters come into their own after the age of 30. And you're seeing exactly that with Belt. I know Barry Bonds is a huge fan. Barry has worked with him and working to left center field. And as a result, we'll talk about this later, Jessica, about how well he's adjusted to the ball in.
That's on the ground to the right side. Rizzo gets the lead runner. Russell's relay's not in time.
And Rizzo, who's Keith Hernandez-like aggressiveness, one first baseman belt here to Rizzo. A really nice shuffle, just a little bit of hesitation. It cost him the double play, but still really nice play from Rizzo, ranging to his right with an accurate throw as usual.
So 2 out with the runner aboard now, and that'll bring up the aforementioned 3-time All-Star Evan Longoria. Longoria, one of the new Giants, like McCutchen, who could also use some good news. He takes a first pitch ball. How we doing with the glare so far? You guys all right? Can I get you anything?
Perfect.
Umbrella?
Pina colada. Sunday night, baby.
Just go straight beer and brat.
We could probably make that happen too.
Hey,
another
Matt,
take for a strike.
If you're Jim Hickey, the pitching coach for the Cubs, I would focus for the folks at home on one thing here for Tyler. You have to look at first pitch. This night will be determined on how many first pitch strikes he creates tonight early on. Assertive and aggressive.
A ball and a strike with the man aboard and 2 away. We should note early on, and certainly Cubs fans are aware of this, tonight was supposed to be Yu Darvish. But he's having an MRI tomorrow on his right tricep. And Darvish was a scratch after being put on the disabled list yesterday late afternoon. As Chatwood misses down and away this time to fall to 3-1 now. Now, Yu Darvish has not began his Chicago career the way he saw it going when he signed that 6-year free agent deal this last winter. They're hoping they can get him right physically and that he can get back to being himself. Taking all the way is Longoria, and that's already the second first-inning walk from Chatwood. What has been a problem for him all year seems like it's reappearing tonight.
But it's not just misses, it's if you look at the misses. You're going to see Contreras set up inside, and then the ball is 2 feet outside. He'll set up low. It's way up in the zone, and I think that's where the concern is, and that's what Joe Madden talked to us about is when you're missing with your fastball to try to set up everything else, and they're bigger misses. I believe it's got to be something more physical and mechanical, because that's something that it's not just inches, it's feet.
Big opportunity for the Giants early with their hottest bat, Brandon Crawford. Crawford sits safely in 20 of his 23 May games, and as we mentioned a moment ago, he is a big-time player of the month candidate already. And Brandon lays off the first pitch.
And as a hitter, this is a delight count. You want Tyler to keep falling behind on the count, and you're looking for a four-seamer right down the middle to do some serious damage. And this is about a good aim spot here for Crawford.
Yesterday in game 2 of the series, Crawford went opposite field with a man on, and he took a 3-2 Quintana ball and sent it over the basket.
And it was up in the zone, and that, when you look at the numbers of Brandon Crawford and the adjustments that he's made, it's been on pitches up in the zone, hitting almost 600. That's the best in baseball in the month of May.
2 balls and a strike to Crawford now. Something to watch tonight as well is that the middle of the Giants lineup, from Belt through Sandoval, the 3 through 6 hitters, they put together some big-time numbers in their career against Tyler Chatwood. Plenty of experience from Chatwood's Denver days as a Rocky. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Crawford now.
And for Chatwood, it's never about his stuff. His stuff plays up all the time. He needs to get 0-1. When he comes in, if you're Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, you should say you throw a 2-0 fastball right down the middle by one of the hottest hitters in the game. If you get beat early, move on to the next one.
A couple of first-inning walks, and Chatwood trying to get out of a self-inflicted wound situation here in the first. Well, StatCast powered by AWS just backs up what you talked about regarding Crawford and the fastball.
Yeah, that 595. I mean, that's just a stupid number. In the month of May, it's why it leads all of baseball on fastballs. And primarily the fact that they're up in the zone are the ones that he's hitting tells you he's getting on time in a way that he just wasn't early in the season.
The next 2-2 is hit on the ground to shortstop. And everybody's safe. Now, the Cubs have had some really uncharacteristic defensive problems this year. And Joe Maddon coming out to take issue now. Is he claiming that was a foul ball?
No.
I'll be honest, we're in right field.
Yeah.
We didn't see a thing.
I wonder if it was anything with the runner.
He's hard to see from here, but the only thing he can be arguing about is the runner getting in the way, perhaps interference. But disclaimer, we can't see anything, Jeff.
Yeah, there's a sun. No, I think honestly it's the runner. Nope, it's nothing.
The runner was clear at that point. I can't imagine what the issue is.
I think Joe Maddon is saying that he got in the way of Chris Bryant coming across.
Okay. Well, whatever the problem was, the situation results in a bases loaded 2-out opportunity for San Francisco now. And what better way for Pablo Sandoval to begin his career as a major league second baseman, which he's doing tonight. Switch hitter in from the left side, and Chatwood misses way wide. A couple of walks and an infield single, and one that looked rather unusual on the field. Sandoval takes a strike. It's 1-1. Yeah, I think you're right, Alex. On the left, and Bryant was quick to try to get somebody's attention. It did look like that was the cause of Maddon's entrance onto the field.
Alex, I've had infielders tell me that in that situation, they will at times just run into the runner to, in other words, force the umpire to make the call.
Yeah, and if you make it too obvious, Buster, they'll pick up on that. These umpires are really, really good. And Chris Bryant sold it, but at the end of the day, it was a base hit, is a judgment call for the umpire, and they made the right one.
2-strike count now to Sandoval. The ball and 2 strikes. Chatwood trying to strand him loaded here.
And we still haven't seen Chatwood break out the breaking ball. Could be an interesting spot for it right here.
Sandoval chops it to short. Another chance for Russell. This time he's too late with his throw to first. A run scores and everybody's safe. A leaner, meaner Panda getting up the line in a hurry.
And Addison Russell here, tough play, has to make the throw across the infield, and Panda getting down the line. A little bit lackadaisical here, Jessica.
He doesn't get it out of his glove right away, and I think that's what allows is it's literally the half a second he took to get the ball out of his glove. It allows Panda get down the line.
So now they're still loaded, a run in with 2 gone for Mac Williamson. 2 infield singles and a pair of first inning walks. And now a guy with pop. You see the 3 home runs from Williamson. That doesn't tell the complete story. That's 3 home runs in only 19 plate appearances this year.
Check. And if you're a shortstop, you know that you're probably going to have to throw across the infield. Therefore, you have to be very aggressive and assertive. Come attack this baseball. I'd like to see a lot more urgency. Come through the baseball and rocket the ball across the infield.
Hey, let's face it, Boston vintage Pablo Sandoval's out by 3 steps.
I think Addison had that version in his head because his own time clock was much slower than what Panda was really doing getting down the line.
And I don't mean to make an excuse for Addison Russell or any of the other infielders, but Alex, you lived it. And when you have a pitcher who's all over the strike zone and a lot of pitches and a lot of deep counts, can that affect you?
Well, absolutely it can, and you get flat-footed. I also don't like how deep Addison Russell's playing. because any bobble, in this case, cost you a run. You have to give up a little bit to gain a lot. The other thing is, for Panda, as a runner, when you smell an RBI, you go from an average runner to a good runner.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Mac Williamson. Williamson's second game back from the DL yesterday had 3 hits. That's lined to Hayward in right. He plays it on a hop. Another run scores. Here's Crawford. The throw is high, and it's 3-0 San Francisco. Williamson to second on the throw to the plate, and the Giants do break through early.
And this is a nightmare start here for the Cubs. Falling behind, falling behind. Here's a pitch, low, not a bad pitch. Nice swing right here, very hitterish, just flicks it to right field. Love to see that. Base hit, 2 RBIs, 3-0 Giants.
Error hung on a 5-time Gold Glover Jason Hayward on the throw to the plate, and the Giants are on the board with a crooked number in the first, and that'll draw a little conference on the mound. Nick Hundley will bat. He'll be the 8th Giant to come to the plate in the top of the first inning tonight. And you hate to say it, but this one is starting right where Chatwood left off Tuesday against the Indians when he couldn't get out of the third.
And Buster, what you're seeing is the ramifications of his really slow work. You see 2 brilliant defenders in Russell and Hayward make 2 uncharacteristic mistakes.
Nick Hundley now. Hundley with 5 home runs, 15 driven in. He's fallen on a little harder times of late, just 3 for his last 31. A base hit makes this a 5-run first. And it's to 2-0 now.
And if you don't think defense is important, 2 bobbles have cost this team 3 runs. One from Rizzo that could have been a double play. The other one by Addison Russell, which did cost them a run.
The 2-0 pitch is hit on the ground to second. And that will put an end to the top of the first, not before the Giants hang 3. Underway at Wrigley Field on this Memorial Day Sunday.
Discover new Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash. Pump, foam, hydrate. New Dove Men Plus Care Foaming Body Wash.
Nick was born to move. 3 toddlers won't stop him, and neither will lower back pain. Because at a Dr. Scholl's kiosk, he got a recommendation for a custom-fit orthotic to relieve his foot, knee, or lower back pain from being on his feet. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
We're proud to reveal that Jim Beam Black has been awarded the world's highest-rated bourbon. Their words, not ours. Make history.
I'm very proud of the fact that I served. I was a C-130 mechanic in the Corps, so I'm not happy unless my hands are dirty. Between running a business and 4 kids, we're busy. Auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance policies, knowing that USAA will always have my back. That's just one less thing you have to worry about. I couldn't imagine going anywhere else. They're like a friend of the family. We are the Cochran family, and we will be USAA members for life.
Save by bundling USAA home and auto insurance. Get a quote today.
This tastes just like I imagined Phil would taste.
Phil in a bottle right here.
It's uncanny. Whatever happened to Phil?
Mangoes are great. Snapple Mango Tea tastes just like them.
Welcome back. Sunday from the seats here at Wrigley, and the visiting Giants have an early 3-0 lead as we take a look at our starting lineups for Joe Madden and the Chicago Cubs, brought to you by Taco Bell. Playing from behind, a little catching up to do, so they said in Animal House. And let's take a look at the Cubs tonight, Alex.
And for the Chicago Cubs, offense is all about Anthony Rizzo. He is the heart and soul of this team. He was in 2016. As he goes, the Cubs go. He started slow out of the gates. He's warming up as of late. Keep an eye on him.
On the mound for the Giants tonight is their opening day starter, 27-year-old left-hander Ty Blach, making his staff best 12th starting assignment tonight and looking to even up his record at 4-4. He's made a couple of previous starts in this ballpark. Both of them wins, both of them very good, as he lasted in 7 innings in both, and that's the kind of length that Bruce Bochy and his pitching coach Kurt Young just haven't gotten a lot of so far from their staff this year. Almora, Baez, and Bryant lead things off for Chicago. And it's 0-1 to Albert Almora.
And from Ty Blach, expect exact opposite as Tyler Chapman. A lot of first pitch strikes and a very great pace and cadence.
Blach, one of the quicker workers in the league. To the degree, Jess, as we talked about on opening day, he doesn't even turn his back to the plate.
No, and that comes from Creighton, where he went to college. It's more of a mindset. Catch the ball, go.
Sharply hit ground ball off Blach. Hand to bare hands. Throw to first is not in time.
How about Albert Almora Jr.? I mean, just firing back that last half inning, it's almost lulling you to sleep with the walks and the errors, and you just felt like this team in the top was already losing the game, and the hustle out of the box. But I get it. When you dive to first, it doesn't make you any quicker, but there is something about getting your team pumped up that this play right here, it doesn't. Now, Almora Jr. gets himself a knock by just straight up hustle.
Right now, the advanced metrics guys are grinding.
But
what do we do with that? It's an infield single that hit the pitcher. The batter runner slid head first. How do we quantify that? We can't put that on a spreadsheet. Here's Javier Baez now with the leadoff hitter aboard.
Matty, the P&Ls are flying.
Oh, yes, the P&Ls. And Baez, the free swinger, grounds it to the Panda. Look at him lay out. Hey, like he's been playing there for years.
I mean, Panda, there must be something about this uniform. Looking like a young Roberto Alomar. Really nice play.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, I'm carried away a little bit. Back to back.
And how about the baseball gods, right? That's what we always say. It finds the new guy in a new position right away. Sandoval tests it twice, makes a nice play.
Hey, look, this guy has done everything on a major league field, including pitch and catch, by the way. Second base, no big deal. There's Chris Bryant now, and on the first pitch, a high, deep drive out to center field. That one's got a chance, and it's off the base of the wall. Almora scores Bryant to second, and just like that, the Cubs have cut into their deficit.
Chris Bryant, he takes a pitch down in the zone and drives it. This looked like it was off out the bat, but he hits it in the deepest part of the stadium, and it was a changeup. Watch him just stay back enough. And this just shows you the power, the strength, and honestly the lift that Bryant gets on an off-speed pitch that he drives just a couple feet shallow of the ivy to get the Cubs on the board.
And the last 3 pitches thrown have been put in play. The Cubs very aggressive, punching back.
Rizzo takes a knee-high strike. Anthony Rizzo starting to come around. He's hit safely in 8 in a row. 9 RBIs in that 8-game stretch. And for a guy who started out so miserably, considering how hot he is now, he's still only hitting .213. That's how deep the hole was in April.
And he still hasn't gotten going. Like, he's had good at bats, he's had good games, but the Anthony Rizzo that you know is there. Just the roll and that confidence, the swag, the consistency that you'll see. It's come in spurts, but you know he's close to just every day being that hitter.
Breaking balls in for a strike.
You got to love Anthony Rizzo. He's an old school player, hard nosed, extremely hardworking defender, aggressive, world champion. He's the kind of guy that his power numbers are there. Everything else will catch up for Rizzo, and it will do the same for the Chicago Cubs.
Trying to pick up Bryant with a run in. That one off block as well, and off the second base umpire. Bryant sprinting for the plate. I mean, we're watching like the baseball version of a Pacheco game tonight.
I've never seen this before. This ball hit the pitcher, the umpire, and then the second baseman fields it.
How many years did you play? Never seen that. And that just gives you an indication of how hard it was hit. And Chris Bryant being heads up to be able to take this, read it, and score.
Block was almost able to stab at that and make a fantastic play. Instead, it's a 3-2 lead for San Francisco. Still only one away, a man aboard now for Wilson Contreras. Some start we've gotten off to tonight, guys. 4 infield singles, 5 runs, and we're not even out of the bottom of the first yet.
You're saying, boy, there's good things to come here in this summer.
I mean, we're talking about some big time loud contact on the balls that have been put in play against Ty Blach so far tonight. Almora's single was 106+ miles an hour. Baez's ground ball 106. Bryant Rizzo hit balls at 102.5. And a called strike 3 taken by Contreras.
And this has been the best pitch for Ty Blach early in this game. Usually it's his changeup, which is what Chris Bryant hit, but it's the curveball.
And Eric Cooper behind the plate, the 20-year vet umpire. Good pitch, even better call. And if you're Contreras, when you have Tyler Chatwood on the mound, you do not want to argue balls and strikes.
Here's Kyle Schwarber now. Schwarber arrives at this one hot, 7 for his last 20. You know, we should mention on Ty Blach, and Giants fans are certainly familiar with his arsenal. He is not a hard thrower. And in order for a guy who throws about 60% of his pitches as fastballs in the 88-mile-an-hour range, the secondary pitches, the changeup, the curveball you mentioned, Jess, they have to be pinpoint for him to live that way. And there's another base hit, this one back up the middle. Rizzo taking the turn on his way to third. Throw there's cut off, and the Cubs are still going here in the first.
Well, you mentioned pinpoint. This is a fastball that was not pinpoint. It was right down the middle. Look at the location of this pitch. And this is where Ty Blach has to be on the corners. And Kyle Schwarber just does a simple job here. He gets that front foot down, barrels it up, finds a pole to get through. But watch the base running to Rizzo. Coming around the bag. Aggressiveness that we've seen. Alex, you talked about it. Them swinging early. And they've been taking the extra base.
Well, there's no question that Chili Davis, that was the scouting report. Ty Blach is going to attack you. Do not let him get 0-1, 0-2. Attack him back. They've done exactly that. We have a ball game.
You know, because of the way this game has started, neither manager is really worried about saving mound visits. Kurt Young just came out. That's already the 3rd combined in the first inning tonight. And there's the tote board. Six each per the new rules in Major League Baseball this year. And by the way, that rule has gone along swimmingly because you just don't hear much about it. That means it's working.
The score may end up 49ers football against the Chicago Bears. We're going to be here a while.
I don't know if recent vintages of those two teams, this one might outscore the 49ers and the Bears. 2 balls and no strikes, the count to Addison Russell. He sends one back up the middle. That one knocked down by Block. My goodness, another infield single. And the Cubs have scored 3 to pull even in the first.
And this is the 3rd ball that's hit off his glove or some part of Ty Block. All 3 for base hits. And Panda is trying to rethink this second base position.
I mean, he's had to change directions a couple times. You're not out there taking ground balls looking for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't the master plan because you had all those right-handed hitters that he wasn't going to see the ball very much in this game.
Yeah, so much for that, right? He's had a lot of action so far, and
deflective action.
Yeah.
It's not even like a straight ground ball, which would be enough, but off the pitcher, off the umpire.
Jason Hayward now, 0-1 to him. 3 runs in the Cubs half of the first. And if you had been at Wrigley Field for the first time, knowing the reputation this place has, and someone would have said it's going to be 3-3 before the end of the first inning, you'd think it would be one of those kind of romantic wind-swept afternoons, the likes of which Mike Schmidt would come here and hit 4 home runs and it was blowing all over the place. These have been infield singles that have done the damage tonight.
Time out.
A ball and 2 strikes on Hayward now.
6 runs in the first inning without a home run. When was the last time that happened?
With barely a ball hit out of the infield. Hey, guess what, Tyler Chatwood? You're back to even. So to go back to Ty Block for a moment and his formula for success, he is a soft contact specialist. Changing speeds, hitting his spots. Before tonight, the average exit velocity off him was 87 miles an hour, one of the lowest figures in baseball. Tonight, average exit velocity against Block, 105. Hayward sends a drive to the opposite field. Great running grab by Mac Williamson to prevent any further damage. Oh, man. Mac, look in your other hand. You don't know what you might find. Just like he's shagging BP.
I'm all about my bed.
This mattress is dangerously comfortable.
When I get in, I literally say, ah.
Introducing the Lisa mattress. A better place to sleep.
This bed hugs my body.
I'm now a morning person.
The Lisa mattress is designed to provide strong support, relieve pressure, and optimize airflow to keep you cool.
Hello, bed of my dreams.
Order online. We'll build it, box it, and ship it to your door for you to enjoy. Sleep on it for up to 100 nights and love it, or you'll get a full refund. Returns are free and easy.
I love my Lisa.
Today is gonna be great.
Read our reviews, then try the Lisa mattress in your own home. Order now and get $150 off. And free shipping too. Go to buylisa.com today.
You need this bed.
It's the Memorial Day sale at Ace.
Get 30% off our top paint brands.
30% off paint now through Monday. And with the Extra Mile promise, get everything you need to paint in one trip or delivery is free. Only at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
budget meeting.
Sweet.
You compare last quarter to this quarter.
It's no wonder everything seems a little better with the creamy taste of Philly. Made with fresh milk and real cream. It must be the Philly.
Tomorrow, Memorial Day, a triple header on ESPN, starting with the Astros and Yankees at 1 Eastern. Justin Verlander in the Bronx. The White Sox battle the Indians at 4. And then at 7 Eastern, it's these Giants in Denver as San Francisco travels to see the Rockies right after this one. Wednesday night baseball, Astros and Yankees as well. Outside Wrigley Field, it is just as festive as it is inside, with so many great changes in Wrigleyville. We'll talk about that throughout the telecast tonight as we welcome you back to a 3-3 ball game in the second. And Tyler Chatwood with a chance for a proverbial do-over here. He goes to work on Ty Block, then Hernandez and McCutchen here in the second inning. Summer's not officially here according to the calendar yet, but you'd be hard-pressed to tell the folks in Chicago that, because the atmosphere around the lake, downtown, here in Wrigleyville, it's holiday time.
The lake looked like the Caribbean today, by the way. Light blue.
Hey, look out.
Man, that's 3 in a row that have been big misses, too. And that's the thing to keep an eye on with Chatwood is, yeah, the walks, but it's the uncompetitive pitch. Meaning these are pitches that, and this is a pitcher up to bat, but that you're never going to get a swing on because they are such big misses.
Ball 4.
And this is what we saw in the top of the first inning for Chatwood. And watch Wilson Contreras behind the plate. Look at where he's trying to set up. Look at where his glove starts and look at where these end up. This is a difference of about 3 feet. Usually a pitcher is going to miss by inches, but for Chatwood, it's been a lot of stabs, and Contreras early in this game has already gotten a huge workout behind the plate. Look at 21 balls to 17 strikes of those 38 pitches.
Walks the pitcher to lead things off in the second, and now Gorkys Hernandez. Hernandez was the first out of the ball game for Chatwood. He swung at the first pitch. Seemed like that was sometime last week already. And since then, it has been real command trouble for the Cubs right-hander.
And when you face a guy like Tyler Chatwood, the conversation in the clubhouse goes like this. Hey, what kind of stuff does he have? And they call these guys rock throwers. And that's basically because they have no control. It's like it can go anywhere. Now, the one thing where they can be effective is that they get ahead 0-1, then they become effectively wild.
Ball and 2 strikes to Hernandez. And you can kind of see Tyler Chatwood, and Joe Madden shared this with Buster Jess Alex and I today. You can see him really making an effort to try to slow himself down. Joe told us before the game that when Chatwood gets into a bad way, he's stabbing at the ball to try to get it back from the catcher quickly. Hernandez with a shot out to left. And there are runners at first and second.
Well, that was an interesting pitch because the last start that Chatwood had, you saw Wilson Contreras often try to get him back on track, get his command back by having to throw a curveball, and that's what he threw then, and Hernandez hits it for a single. So you wonder if Chatwood's thinking, boy, nothing's going right.
So now Andrew McCutchen, who drew the walk that started the 3-run rally in the first.
Nightmare first inning for Chatwood, and the making of another nightmare here in the second.
Joe Madden also said before the game that regarding Chatwood and his relationship with whoever's behind the plate, a catcher should never let his starter lose a feel for the strike zone with his fastball. That's the catcher's responsibility, kind of tacking on to what Buster just mentioned to get him out of whatever's giving him a hard time.
Yeah, Matt, and what Joe Madden means by that is you get the same feel. You see pitchers throwing 4, 5, 6 balls in a row. If you're a catcher back there, quarterback in this thing, you want to break up the rhythm and mix in a breaking ball. And what that will do, it would change the rhythm. It perhaps gets the pitcher back in the proper slot.
Well, even if you give up the hit, to Buster's point, he came back with the curveball. It got hit for a base hit. But as a defender, you'd rather have that than what kind of gets you back on your heels of ball 1, ball 2.
Three balls and no strikes. Runners at first and second here. And nobody out in the second inning. And there's ball 4 to McCutchen. He has seen 9 pitches today, and 8 of them have been for balls. We talked about Joe Madden's comments on Chatwood before the game. Well, Joe's wearing a microphone for us tonight, and here are some of his thoughts on the way the start is going.
That was actually harder. He might just be he just needs to throw without guiding it. Just make sure that when I'm going to talk to him about, he just guides his fastball, just throw it. You know, he's trying to not walk guys. He's got to stop worrying about that. So I'm going to remind him about that because I talked to him about that the other day. The other thing is making throws to others' pitches. Yeah. Don't let him get wild with his fast. Just keep putting like on a curveball. I like his curveball, but try to do something else.
The kind of firsthand exactly what Joe had told us before the game tonight. Just trying to shepherd Chatwood out of a really rocky start tonight, no pun intended. And the former Rocky, with the bases loaded and nobody out, has to face the red-hot Brandon Belt. This was the mound visit a minute ago. Wilson Contreras really demonstrative with his starter. And then Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, had to come out and tranquilo everything down a bit, if you will.
There's a lot of emotion, and as a player, you hate to see that. You can't have 2 guys fired up. One needs to be the fire, one needs to be the water. And that's part of leadership. That's what David Ross did so well here. And in many ways, it goes overlooked.
Well, yeah, Chatwood came in the last inning. I mean, he was screaming and throwing his hat. And so if you've got that behind the plate.
A ball and 2 strikes, and the Cubs bullpen is up a lot earlier than it thought it would be. That's Randy Rosario, who's just begun an assignment down there. Walk, single walk. A ball and 2 strikes with nobody out to Brandon Belt. And he got him. Well, some of the emotion you talked about, Alex, earlier, this was after the first inning. Wait for it. Yeah, there it is.
And really what you're looking for is you want to see Chatwood really manage emotions. And when you see the great ones like the Roger Clemens, the Pedro Martinez, they're always under control, just like a cool quarterback. Just like a Joe Montana, a Tom Brady. You never see those guys lose control. You cannot pitch as well when your emotions are riding so high.
He gets in front of Evan Longoria with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in around his hands. Block at third, Hernandez at second, McCutchen at first with 1 away. Boy, you know, you feel for a guy who's just not able to locate, and Tyler Chatwood, when he's on, he's good. This is not what the Cubs nor Tyler are used to seeing from himself. Misses up and into Longoria again. You just get the sense that he just doesn't know where it's going tonight.
Yeah, but now do you get where it's almost dangerous? I mean, if you're Evan Longoria, you had 2 at your head, 1 a curveball, this one a fastball, and we've seen probably 5 miss that high.
Yeah, and I know he's struggling, but as a hitter, this is not exactly the most comforting at bat.
2 balls and a strike to Longoria. He walked and scored in the first. Bases loaded for him with 1 out here in the second, and now Chatwood wants to think about it again.
And if you're Longoria, you're looking for a fastball up, and you're thinking right center to left center.
Missed up and in, but he gets a foul tip on it, and it's 2-2 now. And I don't think Jed Hoyer or Theo Epstein or anybody in the front office is enjoying this tonight so far.
And you know, this is the consequence of you take a guy like Yu Darvish. You know, he signs for 6 years. This is his night. He is the big boy. And when he does not pitch, you get this.
This was supposed to be Darvish again, as we mentioned earlier tonight, but he was put on the DL yesterday having an MRI of the triceps, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for Chatwood here in the second.
Well, after getting everything up and in at your head, the best setup pitch for that is this curveball away. And if you're thinking, and you know this better than anyone, Alex, you're going to have that hesitation, that protection of anything that's going to come at you. And to see a breaking ball perfectly located away, and that's exactly what Joe Maddon said is the pitch that can get him back, to get him commanding again.
Cubs brain trust hoping that Chatwood can get out of this jam. Brandon Crawford with a first pitch liner the other way, and yeah, bases loaded, nobody out. And Chatwood is out of trouble in the second. Still a 3-3 game in Chicago.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do? Drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
We're proud to reveal that Jim Beam Black has been awarded the world's highest rated bourbon. Their words, not ours. Make history.
Studied. Tested. Proven. For the world's best athletes, nothing beats Gatorade.
We're proud to reveal that Jim Beam Black has been awarded the world's highest rated bourbon. Their words, not ours. Make history.
Tired yet? No. You good?